What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and I want to give a huge shout out to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. HelloFresh is super simple to set up, and I'm going to show you guys how you all can get your meals. And if you guys want, use my code down in the description below, along with following the link to get your first meals at a ridiculously low price. So first things first, you got to pick out which meals you want. If there's 2 people, if there's 4 people, how many meals. I picked fit and wholesome and meat and veggies. And up next, you guys can exchange meals, add meals, whatever you want. The next part is showing your, giving your credit card information and sending out your address. That part's not going to be here. So then you get your box in the mail. It arrived super duper quick. I'm going to be cooking tonight the sheet pan Dijon onion crunch chicken. Spoiler alert, it was really good. And then you get like a $100 voucher gift card for wine. Since I don't drink, I'm actually just going to give it to my mom because she is a big wine person. Then you have the instructions. They're all laid out so well. Doing a little dance. Don't know if I'm going to leave that clip in. But then you go in and you set it for 5 minutes for the first round. And then after 5 minutes, you put in the green beans on the side of that. I'm very impatient. I'm already very hangry. But yeah, this is where you put the green beans on the side of the chicken, and then you cook it for another 15 minutes, and voila! You have perfectly cooked chicken and green beans. The other one is for my dad. So you guys, thank you so much for watching this ad. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much, HelloFresh, for sponsoring today's video. What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome to a trailer review. We're going to be going into some casual nerd topics, but I am not going to wait an entire week to just showcase the Resident Evil 4 Remake trailer at the end of this week. I was going to do another trailer, but there was copyrighted music in it, so I couldn't use it. So I thought, you know what? Let's use this. I know there's a guitar music in the beginning of this, but I know so many people are reviewing this trailer, and it can't all be ones of where they get hit with a copyright stroke, right? So let's get into this. I'm ready. We're gonna dive into the trailer, then talk about some stuff, some heated stuff, and I'm excited. Oh God, why did it just go? Oh my God, I can't talk. I'm so excited. It's coming out next year, around this time. I'm so excited. I honestly didn't think it was going to be Resident Evil whenever I saw this at first and then heard the music. To be honest, I thought it was going to be Last of Us or something. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited right now.
Condor 1 to Roost. I've located Baby Eagle.
And there's Ashley. Oh my gosh. Are we gonna hear the annoying Ashley? Leon!
Guess you, me, picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
They're already doing stuff that I'm very excited about. If we go back over here and we look at this, this was this is the village. Right when you go into the game, this is the village. And this is where he quite possibly finds Ashley. I'm not too sure, but I know there was a segment of where you had to complete a puzzle in the church area, and then you get the glorious task of assisting Ashley. But I honestly think that they're going to do this the right way. At least I hope and I pray that they do, because this was one of my childhood favorites growing up. I remember playing it back in 2005 and thinking it was so cool. This is just awesome. Yeah, honestly, it's awesome. I do have my own nitpicks with it. Don't think that there are things that I don't like about Resident Evil 4, but overall, it's a pretty solid game.
Guess you, me, picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
Wait a second. Is that Lewis? Is that Lewis? Lewis? Is that Lewis? I think that might be Lewis. have to. Please, we are going to see Ada remastered. I have to look at her again. I have to. It's a requirement. Okay? Ada remastered in this game. Ada was the just epitome of amazing double spy in Resident Evil 4. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ada is queen in this series, okay? I don't want to hear it.
You will receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
We're gonna see the big cheese, aren't we? Are we gonna have to take his eyeball again like last time? I would love to know.
If I could just forget what happened that night. The pain. Even for a second.
Ah, I love how they reimagined Ashley.
This time, it can be different. It has to.
It looks like they're doing the exact same thing. Like they're just recreating it. I honestly think that this is going to be a really good game. Guys, I'm so excited for Resident Evil 4 Remake. Next year cannot come soon enough. I'm not going to be doing a playthrough of it. I might do a Twitch playthrough on it, but that's the most I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm very, 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 very excited for this game. I'm also very trepidatious because I don't want to be disappointed. With Resident Evil 3 Remake, I was half happy and half extraordinarily disappointed that they didn't add certain aspects that we all know and love into the game. Because Resident Evil 4, if you look at it, did a lot of amazing things for the gaming industry. It fixed really big issues with camera angles. It basically invented that whole over-the-shoulder, really, I mean, like there wasn't really any over-the-shoulder until you got to Resident Evil 4, and that was basically like the formula that they carried through for the rest of the games that we have today. So I don't know, I'm very on the fence about it, but I'm also very, very, very excited about Resident Evil 4, and I hope they do the ogres correctly. I hope they do the big cheese correctly. I hope they do the regenerators correctly, because those things scared the living crap out of me when I was a kid. So I really hope that they do those characters justice. People are saying that there might be a remake of the very first game again. First of all, that game doesn't need a remake, okay? Now that I'm playing through the original 1996/97 version, which is a director's cut, this game was probably, Resident Evil 1 is the perfect way to do a remake, in my opinion. It is the perfect way to do something from the ground up while still maintaining its honor and still maintaining the way that it was meant to be. Like, it was absolutely perfect. They kept the characters in line, they kept the mansion, they kept everything that they needed to keep, and they did it in such a way of where you're upping the graphics, creating areas that kind of flow seamlessly within that universe. And I don't feel like there's a remake like Resident Evil 1 anymore, of where it's completely genuine to the game and the lore and all of that. But who am I to judge? I'm only a game journalist. So next up, we're going to go into some news that it was very last minute that I wanted to discuss this. I was talking with a few journalist friends of mine, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to discuss this. I honestly don't care about the heat that it gives me, because this needs to be talked about. There is a game developer that I discussed in these episodes of The Casual Nerd, and I'm really, really pissed off at myself that I gave this person any sort of leeway, any sort of just kindness at all, because what they're doing right now is absolutely horrendous. So right now we're going to talk about abandoned skeptics warn about unmade blue box games going back to 2015. It's a long time. It is a very long time that this has been going on for. Now, my biggest issue with this entire thing that's been going on is Hassan Karaman is using people's love of Silent Hill to basically fund his clout machine that has been happening since 2015. Taking people's love for Silent Hill and basically tricking them is not a cool move, especially when you know fans are anticipating and wanting and yearning for a new Silent Hill. It's basically trying to pull the wool over their eyes and saying like, ooh, well, let's tease it with this and maybe they won't notice. The fact of the matter is that tweeting out a statement like starts with an S, ends with an L, really isn't that professional. And if you don't want people to think that if you want people to think that you have nothing to do with Silent Hill, then maybe not tweet that. This has been going on for years, starting with Rewind and the Lost Tapes, then going to, oh my gosh, going to The Whisperer, going to Unseen Faces, Tale of the Six Swords, Rewind, Mobile Edition, The Haunting, Blue Box website, and that's when they came up with Abandoned, their next Ponzi scheme. Had so many people invested in all of their projects, all of what they were doing, and they even got the attention of Konami. They got the attention of PlayStation, and PlayStation has been supporting these guys since 2015. I understand that they want to give up and coming developers a chance, but they should at least know where their progress is with the game and ask to see reportable things like, oh, do you have a demo? Do you have a playable teaser? Do you have, assets and footage for us of the game? Do you have drawings? Do you have a storyline? Do you have anything that is tangible for us to grapple onto, so that way we know you're not just full of shit? There's a lot of things that pisses me off about this. Not only what I just mentioned, all of what I just mentioned, but the fact of the matter is that there are so many indie developers that are trying to get their foot into the door and they can't. But people like this, like Hassan, can just walk through no problem, scot-free. Wait, are they working on like a Silent Hill project or something like that? A fan-made one or something? And I was so up in the air about it because months and months went by. Nothing, not a peep, not a word. They just kept teasing all of this stuff. And all of us were wondering, when are you going to release something? Apparently this has been going on for years and it has to stop. So that's my piece on that. I mean, I've talked about it on Twitter briefly, but I really honestly think that these companies need to be held more accountable. PlayStation needs to just wake up and understand that these companies only want money and they want clout. They don't want anything else. They don't want to put out a genuine game that speaks to people. They just want the clout from it. That's it. To go on to more interesting news, the next article that we have up is, where is Resident Evil DLC? It states here in the header that outside the initial announcement and a few cryptic potential hits from Capcom, there has been no concrete news about Resident Evil Village's DLC. Now, it states here in the article that released a little over a year ago, Resident Evil Village was one of the most critically acclaimed and commercially successful video games of 2021, selling over 6 million units worldwide and winning or being nominated for many year-end game awards. A month after its release, Capcom announced that the downloadable content for Resident Evil Village was already in development, promising more detailed information at a later date. However, outside that initial announcement and a few cryptic potential hints, there has been no concrete news about Resident Evil Village's DLC. While what little information that's been released has been provided hints on what the DLC could be about, the many other Resident Evil projects that Capcom is developing at the moment may have played a role in its apparent delay. People like to make a big deal out of nothing. I feel like this is exactly what that's about. A lot of people like to be like, oh my god, why is there a delay? It's COVID, right? It was aliens. No, it was the cheese monster. I feel like it has a very simple explanation. They're carrying on and taking on more than they can chew at the moment. So they're promising all of these different things, right? And they can't fulfill on a lot of their promises. And they're releasing all of this stuff to keep people interested. And it's taking a bit of... It's taking a bit, more time because they're taking on a lot more. So I feel like there's so much that people need to understand about game creation and game development, is that it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of processing, a lot of testing, a lot of retesting, a lot of building, a lot of just going back from the start and seeing, okay, are there any bugs? There's a lot that has to go on during a game's development. So don't be surprised if it, doesn't come out until the end of this year. And lastly, in gaming news, PS4 games to be phased out in favor of PC and mobile, says PlayStation. I wonder why. Now, this is the thing I've always said, right? If you're going to get any console, get a PS5 for the exclusives and get a really beefy PC, because if you have a really beefy PC, you can play all of the, Xbox games that you could play on an Xbox. You can play them on your PC. You can play them on mobile. You can play them on your Steam Deck. You can do all that kind of stuff. So honestly, I feel like it's one of those things, if you want to have a console, then okay, you can have a console as a dedicated gaming platform. It's the reason why I have an Xbox Series X, okay? I love having a dedicated, just gaming platform. It's so much fun to use. But I'm primarily a PC gamer. I'm primarily someone who likes to go download different indie games, play through them. I download most of my games on PC. I have a very large game collection of Xbox One games because I like having physicals more so of the time, and then having a backup digital copy. That way I can play it on PC, or if I wanted to, I could play it on my Xbox. I know not too many people have the luxury of doing that, but that's where I'm at right now, and I love that I can actually do that. But it says here in the article that Sony has described its plans for the future, including 2 new live service games by March and a 50-50 split with new and existing IPs. But Sony has revealed that by 2025 it expects half of its releases to be on PC and mobile. I really hope that includes Bloodborne. I really hope that includes Bloodborne, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean that there will be less on PlayStation, just more on other platforms. But new PlayStation 4 releases will definitely be phased out during this period. PlayStation boss Jim Ryan made the comment during a business briefing on Thursday, which also revealed that Sony has 2 unannounced new live service games due for release in the next financial year, which ends in March 2023. There is a lot that's going on right now. I'm not a big fan of Jim Ryan and a lot of the choices that he's making, but it's just what's going on right now. I feel like if they want to be able to keep some of the exclusivities that they have at least for a year or two and then move them over to PC, I feel like that's such a wise choice to make rather than, you know, giving up the ghost altogether. Because here's the thing, right? If you're going to play any games on any console, like I said, pick a PlayStation, you know, it has amazing, console exclusives like Bloodborne, Spider-Man, Last of Us Part 1 and 2, need I go on? Oh yeah, also God of War and God of War Ragnarok. Ragnarok is going to be absolutely amazing. And Horizon Forbidden West and Zero Dawn. Those are also great exclusive. Horizon Zero Dawn is on PC right now as well as God of War. What I really hope is that they don't make the mistake of turning all of their games into live service games, because that I don't see that really working as a long-term profitable thing. But you guys, I will see you all in the next video. That is it for today's Casual Nerd. If you all like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell down below. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And again, thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring the content over on my Twitch channel and here as well. I really appreciate it. So yeah, stay casually nerdy, you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.